Assalamu alaikum, beautiful people. Peace and blessings upon all of you. Welcome back to my channel for another video. Real quick, before this video begins, I want to remind you all to... That's it. Here we go. Today, we are answering the most commonly asked question on all of my social media, and that is, Faisal, can you please give us tips and advice on how to memorize the Quran? So, without further ado, boom, we are doing that today. Now, before we begin, we have to understand one thing. Memorizing Quran is a lifelong journey, one that is not just physical, but psychological and spiritual as well. My tips, inshallah, will cover all those aspects of the journey. Now let me break down this video for you. This video is gonna have two main sections. Section number one is gonna be called The Grind, where I give you tips for before and during memorizing. It's gonna be a checklist, essentially, that you always wanna go through. After that, we're gonna take a little break. I'm gonna do a quick mail time where I unbox something that one of y'all sent me, and then we'll get right back into it to section number two. Section number two is gonna be called The Process, because you gotta respect the process. And that's gonna be completely about techniques for memorizing and timing. Welcome to The Grind. So this is a checklist. I want you to call this the checklist, and we're gonna go through this checklist, something that you keep with yourself at all times, and remind yourself of it every single time you sit down to memorize the Quran. Now, before we start the checklist, I will like to suggest you might wanna take notes, okay? Just grab a pencil and paper and let's get into it. Tip number one on the checklist. The first thing I wanna talk about in the grind is the most important thing in pretty much anything you do as far as the deen goes, and that is intention. Intention by far is the most important thing, okay? It was narrated by Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anh that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, that indeed actions are rewarded according to the intentions. Now I can go on and depth about intention, but there's one thing that we all need to get straight from the get-go. Intention is a continuous battle, regardless of what it is you're doing. Intention is not a one-time factor. So what I'm trying to say is, every time before you sit down to memorize, get in that zone. Remind yourself, I'm doing it for the sake of Allah. I'm doing it for His pleasure. I'm doing it so my rank in the Day of Judgment can be increased. Now, to renew your intention and keep it in check, it's as simple as just you sitting there for a couple seconds or minutes, or as long as you need. Just collect yourself and think about what it is you're about to do, who you're doing it for, and why you're doing it. And these two things both have to be Allah. Now, it's not easy all the time. There will be days where your intention is just complete whack, and let's say you're somebody who goes out in public and recites often. How do you know your intention is straight? And my advice for that is something that was told to me by Sheikh Yasir Qali, may Allah reward him. Do a lot of private ibadah, meaning do things that nobody else knows about. And this way, you have a relationship with Allah that nobody else knows, and your public relationship with Allah is not the only thing you're dependent on the Day of Judgment when you stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So every day, every single time you sit down with the Quran, renew your intention. Continuously aim to purify it throughout your journey. Tip number two on the checklist, dedication and consistency. Now, I put dedication and consistency in the same bracket because you cannot have one without the other and be productive. Dedication and consistency are both important together. Why do I say that? You can be dedicated but not be consistent, and then you're not getting anything done, you know? You can be consistent but not be dedicated in the right thing, and you're being consistent in the wrong areas. Why is consistency important? Because there's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where we are told that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the deed which is consistent, even if it is little. So don't be sad, don't be upset, don't be frustrated with yourself that you can't memorize a page or large portions of the Quran from the get-go, you know? Be patient with yourself, and I promise you one day, if you are sincere and you keep at it, no matter how things are going, Allah will open doors for you and you will be blown away at what His mercy is capable of for you. So under dedication and consistency, the most important things are prioritize the Quran and designing a routine. So when I say prioritize, I mean you have to tell yourself that I am serious about memorizing the Quran, and it doesn't matter what time of day it is, it doesn't matter what's going on, I will not sleep until I have memorized the portion that I want to memorize for that day. Whether you're a college student, high school student, a working adult, a parent, you know your schedule best. And what has to happen is you need to tell yourself and prioritize the fact that I want to memorize Quran no matter what. And the second part in dedication and consistency is designing a routine for yourself. What I mean by that is take a look at your schedule, okay? Only you know what time you have available, all right? And there is always time. Design for yourself a routine that you can stick to. The first step in designing a routine is you have to write down your schedule, meaning sit down and write down all the things that you normally do within a typical day. The hidden benefit of this is that when you have finished writing that schedule, you can go through and see things that you do on a normal basis that may have little to no benefit. And the goal is to eliminate as many of these tedious and insignificant things that we do during our day so that we have more time to be able to do Quran. The second step in designing your routine is establish your objective. That means ask yourself, how long do I want to take to finish memorizing the Quran? Do I want to take 15 years, 10 years, 3 years, 1 year, a few months? Once you've figured out how long you want to take to finish memorizing Quran, the third step in designing your routine is to break it down. Depending on what you've decided, I want to spend 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Break it down. Tell yourself, I need to memorize this amount every single day. And then stick to that no matter what happens. Prioritize. The fourth step in designing your routine is secure a time. So finally, you have your complete schedule in front of you. You've allocated and figured out what times are best for you to memorize. Now simply designate those times, stick to them, take them seriously, and begin right away. That is how you design your routine. Prioritize that schedule and stick to it no matter what happens. Dedication and consistency. Do that, Quran, no matter what happens during that day. Don't sleep until you have memorized that portion for the day. Allah will see the sacrifice that you're making for His words. Tip number 3 on the checklist: quality over quantity. This is a golden rule that you have to constantly drill into you or whoever else that may be memorizing the Quran. This relates directly back to the last tip of dedication and consistency in designing your routine and prioritizing. Quality over quantity is important because when you're trying to figure out how long you want to take to finish memorizing the Quran, realize quality over quantity. You're not trying to win a race with nobody. What you're doing is for your own benefit, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you gotta do it right. Don't rush it, don't force it, and take your time. Do it right. So quality over quantity can also mean, let's say you've already memorized a significant portion of the Quran, but you realize that you've began to forget something that you've already memorized. Quality over quantity means if you absolutely need to, take a break with memorizing your portion for every single day. Maybe take a week off, a few days off, and solidify that thing that you've already memorized. Okay? Tip number 4 on the checklist: fix yourself and your mindset. Why is that important? That will drive your whole journey. You have to realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made His book and learning it and memorizing it easy. How do we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the Quran easy? Because He tells us in Surah Al-Qamar, verse number 17. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and we have certainly made the Quran easy for remembering. So which one of you will remember? And we are answering that call with the, yeah Allah, we gonna remember, inshallah, inshallah. Age does not matter. Your capacity to memorize does not matter. The only thing that matters is your will, your dedication, and your consistency. So realize you will be tested on this journey. Fixing yourself and your mindset means exactly that. That you have to realize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy, but if you're finding it difficult, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to see through this test of making it difficult for you, is this person going to stop if I make it difficult for him or her? Or are they going to push? Are they going to persevere? Are they going to keep at it and stay dedicated to it no matter what and however long it takes? So realize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy, but He will test you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can test you in various ways. One way is He might test you in the beginning, or He might test you in between your journey. In the beginning, the test can be what I had. In the beginning, I couldn't even memorize one line. I remember clearly sitting in the masjid when I first started memorizing. I was learning Surah Al-Qari'ah. I worked my butt off. I tried to learn Al-Qari'ah, Mal-Qari'ah, wa ma adraka mal-Qari'ah. Just those 3 verses. I spent all day trying to learn those. I get to the masjid the next day. I sit down in front of the sheikh to recite to him, and I knew nothing. I had forgotten it all. The point is, in the beginning, it may be difficult to memorize, but be sure that if you stick with it, you have proven to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that no matter what happens, no matter how difficult it is for this person, he or she is sticking to it no matter what. And for that reason, as your journey progresses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open doors for you and memorization will become so easy. I remember there came a point in my journey where I used to memorize from Maghrib to Isha, okay? That was my time, 45 minutes. There was a time where I was memorizing 6 pages, easy in that time. That's how crazy and beautifully and amazingly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens His doors for you when He sees that this person is serious and he wants my words. So know that it will not be easy right away, because this is not some joke. It's a big deal. You're learning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's words, but you need to be patient with yourself. Allah wants to see, is this person going to stick with my book, or are they going to give up just because it was hard in the beginning? So fix yourself and your mindset, okay? Be patient with yourself and endure the journey. Age does not matter. Nothing matters. Only your will and your dedication and your consistency. You got this. May Allah make us all among those who have the Quran in here and up here like we know our names. Ameen. Tip number 5 on the checklist. Health. Your health is ridiculously important on your journey to memorizing Quran. Like I said, it's not only a physical journey, it's a psychological and spiritual journey. So you need to take care of your health. Stay away from things and people that cause you stress. Have a healthy diet. Stay away from junk food. Stay away from soda, chips, just anything considered junk food to a decent extent. Lack of sleep. You need to keep your sleep schedule on track. So when you are designing your routine, like we talked about in dedication and consistency, make sure you are allocating plenty of time enough for sleep. 8 hours is suffice. 8 hours is good for you. It keeps the mind fresh, healthy, and sharp. Take your sleep seriously. Try to get a decent amount of exercise during your day, a good amount of physical activity, whether it's walking, maybe a slight jog, do a couple push-ups, do a couple squats, go for a slight run, maybe you hit the gym. Excellent. Keep up that physical activity. The purpose of physical activity is that it will condition your body and keep it away from laziness. Also, it triggers and improves certain mental faculties so that your brain functions better. So as far as health goes, take these things seriously. Stay away from things and people that cause you stress. Maintain a decent diet. Get plenty of sleep and physical activity. Make sure there's no lack of it. Tip number 6 on the checklist. Stay away from sin. No, seriously, stay away from sin. Because the journey of memorizing the Quran, like I said, is a spiritual one as well. Staying away from sin exercises your personal growth, and it will aid you in memorizing the Quran more efficiently and better. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will see that this person is so serious about learning and attaining and retaining my book. He or she is refraining from the evil desires of their nafs. So sins that you are accustomed to, fight it. Get away from it. Let it go, and it will aid you in learning the Quran better, inshallah. Not only that, you'll get rewarded for it. And of course, with staying away from sin, I have to emphasize, don't miss your 5 daily salah. You have to pray them. Don't neglect them. If you can't, and if you struggle with them, but you want to memorize the Quran, dude, keep at it. You have to. We cannot neglect them. May Allah make us among those who are firm and adamant and punctual with praying our 5 salah. Ameen. The more important aspect of staying away from sin is the fact that it repels light. Every time we sin, it stains our heart with a black dot. Imam Shafi'i's teacher said that the knowledge of Allah is light, and the light of God, the light of Allah, is not given to a sinner. And that is why staying away from sin on your journey to memorizing the Quran is super important. Or in general, we are told that no one has forgotten Quran but due to a sin that we've committed. And because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran that whatever misfortune happens to us, whatever calamity, it's from what our hands have earned, meaning whatever disobedience we've done, whatever sin we've committed. So stay away from sin, pray your 5 daily salah, and protect your heart. Moving on. Tip number 7 on the checklist that you always gotta keep with you and revisit all the time, every single day, no matter what happens, okay? What? Is dua and constant remembrance of Allah. Dua is your ultimate tool throughout life, honestly. But dua will be your ultimate tool. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every single day, Ya Rab, make it easy for me. Ya Rab, aid me, help me to complete this, finish this. Ya Allah, always help me and guide me to keep my intentions straight. Seek Allah, make Allah your best friend on this journey. Constant remembrance of Allah will aid you in every other aspect. Staying away from sin. The more you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it'll keep you away from sin. The final tip on the checklist is you have to learn Ahkam al-Tajweed and Sifat al-Huruf. Ahkam al-Tajweed, rulings of Tajweed, and Sifat al-Huruf, the proper characteristics of the letters so that we can recite and say the words of Allah correctly as best as we can, bi'idhnillah. Now again, this is a lifelong journey. So as important as it is to know Ahkam al-Tajweed and Sifat al-Huruf, I will also say do not let that from stopping you to begin memorizing and begin learning. Recite to a teacher, okay? Recite to a teacher, recite to a sheikh. Whether it's your local sheikh, ask him if you can, borrow him for 5-10 minutes every single day. Recite your lesson and possibly your revision as well to the sheikh, okay? Make sure you're putting emphasis on learning the characteristics of the letter and how to properly say them and rulings of tajweed. And with that, we conclude the grind. Keep that checklist on you at all times and go through it every single day before you begin your Quran. Like I said, memorizing is a physical, psychological, spiritual journey, and these tips will help you all the time. So make this checklist and look at it every single time before you sit down to learn and memorize. Go through it every single day. Let's take a break. Before we head on to the next section of the process, it is meal time. Let's do this. Sounds exciting. All right. Elegance Beard. EleganceBeard.com. What else they gave me? This is something else. Elegance Beard. Let's open the box. Oh, we'll save that for last. Oh, it's one of those things that you put on yourself, and you put the suction cup onto the mirror, and it catches your beard trimming hair. All right, let's open the box. Bismillah. This is so beautiful. Here's a close-up. Beautiful wood finish. Elegance Beard. Jazakallah khair for these fresh beard products. Oh my goodness. A beard brush. What is that thing that makeup tutorials? You're not. What do makeup tutorial people do? This is nice. What? Oh, it's soft. The next thing in here is beard oil, original blend. And the last thing in here that I see, beard balm to style your beard. Now my beard can actually be down rather than frizzy all the time. Oh, sorry. Can I see it? Okay. But yeah. That is everything. I want to give a huge shout out to Elegance Beard. If you go on Instagram and type in @elegance_beard, you can check out their products, follow them, buy their stuff because it's phenomenal, like you just saw. And that's it for part 1. Jazakumullahu khairan for watching. Make sure to check out part 2. And before you leave me a big thumbs up. In the comment section below, feedback is always welcome. Share the video if you liked it with your friends and family. And most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Jazakumullahu khairan for watching again. See you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum. Tip number 2 on the checklist is dedication and... I look like I have to pee.
You just started saying checklist. You should like say
No, I'm
checklist.
gonna put that back there.
Yeah, I know, but just say it. And then, so tip number 1 on the checklist.
Oh, okay.